Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sunday night live. Today, I have a special guest, and let's bring them on. Okay. Okay. So here, I am here. Okay. First of all, I'm Anita from Ketogenic Woman, and this is our weekly live. We do this every Sunday now at 4. And as promised, I'm bringing guests on. And tonight we have Ron from Ron's Keto Cafe.
Yeah.
And he is always cooking up a storm on that channel. So, the first thing I'm going to ask you guys is if you're not already subscribed to Ron, please do so, either during this or maybe after, however you like to do it. So, I'm just going to do a couple of housekeeping things before we let Ron talk about his amazing story. If you have any questions for him later on, put a Q in, like a couple of Q's even, or some question marks in front of your question so that we can recognize them easily, because sometimes the chat gets really full. We are doing a giveaway. There is 2 boxes of LMNT up for grabs. And to be eligible for the draw, which will be at the end of the hour, if you could put in your comment LMNT. So the moderators will be watching to, see that you guys do that. I'm just going to switch screens for a minute. Yeah, so we've got an entry already. Okay, so LMNT is the entry. You just have to type it in and nothing else, just LMNT, and you'll be entered. Don't forget to hit the like button. That will, get this out to more people. And I think that is it for the housekeeping items. So if you could all welcome Ron, and Ron, I'm going to let you tell us your story. How did you lose 140 plus pounds? And, there's a lot of people that are listening that are in our age group. I'm 65, you're 67. It's not easy. So I would love to hear tips. They would love to hear tips on, how did you do this?
So you got
Go
about
ahead.
three. So you got about 3 years. We'll try to condense it all down into a short period of time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you for having me, Anita, and thank you everybody for wishing welcoming me into Anita's family YouTube followers. So my name is Ron. I live in North Central Massachusetts. I've been pretty much big all my life. I started my weight gain in my adolescent years, going into junior high school, and it snowballed to a point where I was at one point in my life, I was 400 pounds. And I was quite heavy. When I married my wife, we got married officially in '91, but we were together. We've been together for 42 years actually. And I was 400 pounds when we married. And my weight's been fluctuating off and on over the years. So in 2000, early 2020, when everything got shut down, I'm a videographer for the city, and I do photography as well. I'm a volunteer, and I've been volunteering for the city for 12 years now. And 2020, I was filming concerts in the local common area, and they had like 10 cameras set up around the outer perimeter, and I could barely struggle. The distance was like from where my living room is to the bathroom is, and I said, if I don't get my body in shape and get my act together, it's not going to happen no more. And honest to God, neither if I hadn't taken the steps in the right direction, I don't think I would have been here today talking to you about it. That's how bad it was.
Wow. Wow.
And what was the big wake up call beside that incident was we only had 4 concerts that year because everything else got shut down, if you remember, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going to reference that because I don't want to reference that no more. Uh, that's for another topic later on down the road. But anyway, what happened was early in 2000, early days of 2020, I'm going to Worcester, which is another town over, and I was going for an MRI and all that stuff there. We thought it was my back all this time and all that stuff, and it wound up being my hip. So I eventually wanted to have my hip out last year. And then during that time frame, my doctor looked at me. She said, "Ron, if you want weight loss surgery, we'll give it to you." And what happened was in the local MRI machine. I wasn't able to get into that machine, and I got in, and so we ended up making an appointment for the bigger machine to go into the bigger city. And that was the kind of wake up call. She said, if you want weight loss surgery, we'll give it to you. And I said, well, and then I thought about it, and my mom had weight loss surgery, and I don't have a problem with weight loss surgery, but my mom had one of the very first ones back in the 1970s. But my mom's, she's not Canadian, but she married a Canadian, and she was living up in Canada at the time. She had that. She had all kinds of problems with esophagus. Shortly before she had passed away in 2010, she begged me not to get the surgery, and so when the doctor asked me about surgery, I said yes. Initially, we had all that pre-test, and we had all our we had surgery date and everything. I got it all cleared out through the insurance company, and at the end of the day, I said no, I can't do the surgery. And I decided to take measures in my own hands. I got on board with a doctor that was okay with the surgery, and not surgery, but with the weight loss for keto, because it's very important to find somebody that's okay with it. And I said, Ron, if whatever you want to do, I'll honor it. So you want to go keto, you want to go carnivore, if you want to do the Jenny Craig's, the Nutrisystems, or the weight. I had somewhat Weight Watchers, but I didn't stay with it long enough. And so I got involved with some YouTubers like Anita's channel, and all these great YouTubers that put out great recipes and great information for us to lose weight, and all these great doctors like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Boz. They're all great people that want to help us, and so in 2020 I officially started my journey on August 17th. Well, my first video post was on September 1st, 2020, but in mid-August I started my weight loss journey, and that was 325 pounds at the beginning of August. So I officially marked it off at 311 on September 1st. This morning I'm down to 225 pounds. So from 2022 was August 17th, I hit my first 100-pound weight loss, and I pretty much been staying at 100-pound weight loss. I never went to Wonderland. I came close a couple of times, but I don't think, Anita, guys and gals, that maybe sometimes you might not meant to be. Maybe I'm thinking that I'm meant to be where I am. I've had a lot of people beg me not to lose any more weight, because people are going to start thinking I'm sick. And we got a lot of loose skin, but that doesn't really bother me. And I can get the skin surgery, but skin surgery is very, very expensive, and it can be very dangerous. Unless it becomes a health issue, I'm not going to have it done. And that's pretty much how I started my weight loss journey.
Well, that's amazing. So it was about a 3-year journey, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, about exactly 3 years. Now I've been yo-yoing my whole entire life, trying to find different plans that work there. And the very first YouTuber I came across was Keto Rewind, and she's an marvelous YouTuber, and her mom only lives a few towns. Oh, actually, her mom lives close to Ghana. I'm hoping to get together with her, when I'm going to school. But she the whole family is basically doing keto, and that's what really got me involved. And then I go, okay, I could do this. Now my wife doesn't do keto, but she does eat some of my keto meals, and she does like some of the stuff I eat, but she won't do a lot of my meals, but which is fine. I do most of the cooking, and we split the duties up in the house. The room that you see me in, this is my /office living room. So this is we got an apartment, and it works for us.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. So your wife, she's not keto, but she's
No,
supportive of
she's very
your
supportive,
journey.
and they often tell people it's very important when you're starting out weight loss to get family support,
It
and
is.
to get group support. There's enough Facebook support groups that are out there where you can get involved with that, where you don't have to go. You can even go to your local nutritionist, and some of the hospitals, they offer support if you need to get one-on-one support that way, but
Yeah.
kind of like an AA meeting or something like that. But at the end of the day, Anita, I trust in my faith in God and say, you know what, once I got right with him and everything, as they say, the rest is history, including the weight, because I'm never going back to being big. Every one of my videos, I talked about being big, and I said I do not want to be big anymore. In fact, we were going to go skydiving at one point, but because I had to have hip surgery, and I have to have hip surgery in my other hip, we were going to go in October, but I'm thinking about pushing that back off into January, because I'm going to be starting school next week. But I just, I'm not afraid of heights or anything like that. But maybe when I'm 70, I might go. I don't know. We'll see. But but I don't know. But I'm just taking one day as guys. Being hope today is better than yesterday, and tomorrow is better than today. That's how I'm approaching life right now. I'm taking one day as God gives it to me.
Did I just hear you correctly? You are going to go skydiving.
I wanted to go skydiving, but
But when
we couldn't.
you're pushing it off till
I'm
you're
pushing it
70.
off. Maybe then, yeah, exactly, yeah.
You are
But
braver
yeah,
than I
yeah.
am. You are
But
so much braver than I
we
am.
are going in the hot air balloon before the end of the month, so that ought to be pretty fun. My wife would probably tell you I'm full of hot air, but that's another story.
Now I understand that you're also going back to school.
Yeah, that's correct. I am scared to death about school. I'm 67 years old, and I think to myself, am I nuts or what? So, how this all worked happened was, again, I don't want to make this a religious channel, but I have downloads from God, right? And He said, Ron, I need you to go to school. And I said, okay. So and then I think to myself, well, what am I going to go to school for? And I wanted to become a nutritionist or a dietitian, believe it or not. So I
Right.
called up a couple of local schools to see what was involved in it. And in order to get properly certified, it's a 4-year program, and you got to take a master's degree course. And at 67 years old, I would have to know biology, chemistry, math, and algebra, which I don't know any of that stuff. So I said, heck with this. And not that it's not beyond my realm, but if I was like in my 20s, just getting out of high school, maybe that might be a good choice. And then I got a hold of a local college where I went to school back in 2010 for photography and web design. And lo and behold, they have a course that I do right now for the city and for the YouTube channel, which is video and film and media production. So this is one of the books that I'm going to be studying out from. Now, I don't even really need to study into this stuff because I already know it. So this is a no-brainer for me. So last week what happened was I went to school. I've been in the Garden area. It's called Mount Wachusett Community College. It's a great college, and they approved me for tuition. They gave me quite a bit of tuition money. She said, Ron, for you probably won't need any of it other than for your books, and it's free because I'm a senior. And what's great about it is I know most of the stuff. And so last week when I went to the school, I met my counselor. I met my teachers. They brought me around the school area. They gave me like a tour. They brought me into the rooms that I'm going to be studying. In the downstairs area, there's like a humongous room, and it's got about maybe 15 to 20 studio type really big, humongous cameras. And then they got sound switches all over the place and soundproof rooms, and they got all Apple computers. And I'm familiar with all that stuff because I've used all that stuff before for the local studio. For the last 12 years, I've been doing filming and editing for our city. And I'm a volunteer member for all the organizations that we have. And since the early days of 2020, I became members of all the local organizations. And that's how I became very popular in the city, besides everybody knowing me anyways. But, I would suggest if anybody, if you're not doing anything, if you're retired and you're bored, get involved with some of your local organizations because they can always use volunteers. And that's what I do. And I just enjoy doing it. I give up my night on Friday nights. We go to the local parish and I do volunteer at the bingo hall. My wife plays bingo and I volunteer and I talk to the people there and we have good times. And the rest of the time when I'm not doing that, I'm volunteering all over the place. So,
Oh, well, that's great that you're
I
keeping
mean,
things so
yeah, I keep it
busy.
busy. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, when I go back to school next week, my school starts Wednesday, by the way. Some of that's going to take a little bit of a back seat. So what we're going to do is
sure.
we're going to go through this semester. It starts Wednesday and it ends on December 22nd. The next semester starts up in January, but I was supposed to go for my hip surgery on October 17th. My thinking has been believing now that I should push off my hip surgery until the beginning of January, because I don't want to miss part of my semester, because I can always
Right.
start my
Yeah.
spring semester and skip the winter one. So that's what the plan is,
Yeah.
anyways. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That makes a lot of sense. So,
yeah,
but it sounds like what you're taking is right along the lines of your interests and what
yeah.
you've been doing. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's right up my alley. And the school
Yeah.
that I'm going to be taking it's going to be a college degree, which I didn't get the first time. The first time I was supposed to get a certificate, and I had to leave school because I had to get a job because I was
Mhm.
through the unemployment program that we had a bad economy then, and some of my credits I had on then I had like about 10 credits. She says all those are transferable over to this course, so we're going to
Nice.
transfer them over, and we're going to finish. We're going to do this course, and then at some point we're going to resume that course so that I can get my certificate and get my degree, and I don't know if I'm ever going to use it for a job or not. But I was talking to one of the girls that worked Friday night there. She works for one of the local senators in our area, and I was telling her what I want to do in Nita. And guys, is I'm thinking about opening up a nonprofit organization for film and video at some point, and offer them like if couples want to get married or something like
Mhm.
that, and they can't afford a wedding, I can have them in front of the green screen and do an entire wedding right in front of the green screen and photography that way. Or either or go out on location and help them out that way.
Oh,
And
that's wonderful.
yeah,
That's,
that's what that's
giving back to your
yeah,
community
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
exactly. And a lot of people don't know this or not, but I know it's a little history for me, but for you guys, in 2019, I won a documentary award for my film and video. I had
Oh,
I did some research, and I went all the way back to the early days of the movie industry. And believe it or not, I live in the city called Leominster, Massachusetts, which is in north central Mass, and this is where the movie industry started. And one of the very first movie theater was in Leominster that had motion pictures. And Alfred Hitchcock came into the area in the early 50s, and they presented the family with a bouquet of flowers. And I made contact with some of the surviving members of that family. And her and I did a nice interview. She gave me the complete history of all the theaters we had in our city, going all the way
nice.
back to the early 1900s. And the studio gave me a documentary award. And for somebody who likes to talk, when Carl presented me the documentary award, I was so emotional and I was crying that I couldn't say anything.
Oh,
But
wow.
it was okay. But
Yeah.
but who know me? Who knew me now? Now there's like I'm like an energized bunny. I can't shut up half the time.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's so exciting for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
So I want to ask you just some more about your journey here. So you've been doing keto for 3 years.
That's correct.
Did you have any particular struggles on the way? Was
Oh
there
God.
anything that you had to overcome in order to be as successful as you are with your large weight loss?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had. Well, first thing I gave up was Splendor, and
Uh,
getting rid of the saccharin and giving up the sugars and all that stuff there and making the transition, doing my homework. If you're new to keto or carnivore, any weight loss, it's very, very important to first of all, get permission from your doctor to make sure that plan is right for you. But keto, carnivore, and all those plans might not be right for you. But for me, it was necessary. And keto, this is the longest thing I never stuck with this long of a weight loss plan in all my life because, like I tell needed, I was been on a yo-yo diet my entire life. So another thing I want to give up is coffee. Believe it or not, because coffee is it's a drug, and it gives me a quick fix in the morning. But it's not just so much the coffee. I drink too much of it. I'll drink 3 or 4 or 5 cups of coffee in a day. And I think that's probably another reason why I struggle staying up at nighttime, keep going to bed at nighttime. But we'll see with the coffee down the road. But I just just the coffee and cutting out the carbs, and
mm-hmm.
the biggest factor how I was able to lose weight at the very beginning was, and of course, if you're really heavy like I was losing a lot of water weight at first. And
Sure.
I was intermittent fasting. I was doing 16 to 8 intermittent fasting. I tried all the different fasting methods that people tell me to try, and I used a program called Carb Manager, and then I was calculating out
Mm-hmm.
my macros and making sure I was under 20 net carbs a day, and whatever my calorie deficit was, like say 2,500 calories. So whatever came first, the chicken or the egg, that's when I would cut it off, and that's how I was very successful. And another reason how I was very successful is I went out walking, and I went walking, and I went
Oh, good
walking,
for
and
you.
I was
Yeah.
doing 3 to 5 miles a day, and sometimes I was doing 10 miles a day. I walked so much I blew up my right hip, and now my left hip
Oh,
needs to get done. But we had the right hip done last year. That went a piece of cake, and I've been fantastic, Anita, and guys. I can't thank everybody enough who's been supporting me and following me along on my journey, and for me to hopefully inspire as many of you and continue on with your journey and whatever you guys want to do. Um, Anita and most of our YouTubers, we're here to help one another. And
Definitely.
that's the bottom line. And if you're struggling with anything, we're here to we can again we're not going to offer no medical advice, but if you need our help, we're here to help. Now I went from a size 60 pants, and I'm down to a size 32.
Wow.
I went from a size 5X shirt, I'm down to a size medium now. So
Nice.
for somebody who was that big in the time I plateaued out in the last 2 years, I think that's pretty damn impressive.
That is really impressive, Ron.
Yeah.
So we've talked about your weight loss. Do you have any health issues that this has resolved for you
Yeah.
that you are comfortable sharing with us?
I'm glad you asked me that. So, okay, guys. So, um, now I don't say this lightly, okay, but at the very beginning, I had bipolar depression, and a couple of times I was thinking about, doing away with my life and all that stuff. I can openly talk about it now because I'm so outgoing now and responsive to everything now. I don't have an issue talking about it. But I had really bipolar depression. I was diagnosed with bipolar depression back in 2009 or something like that. And, I spazzed out a couple of times where I had to go to the hospital overnight and all that stuff there. And I had high blood pressure. I had sleep apnea and all that stuff. And since I lost all my weight, I have no more sleep apnea. I have no more depression. I'm on no more medication. Other than just having some acid reflux, which I got to be very careful about. I'm completely off of everything, and I feel fantastic.
Wow. That is amazing. It's like you get your life back when
Yeah,
you
yeah. When
get
I was
all
talking,
that. Yeah.
this nice Spanish girl, she came in Friday night to drop off some Spanish food to my friend Evelyn, and I said, Evelyn, how do you know her from? And she said, oh, she's my mom. And I said, well, I know her because she does she works for the government, the center that I was mentioning about. And she came over and she gave me a hug. She says, I didn't know you volunteered here because, boy, you really volunteer all over the place, don't you? And I said, well, I volunteer wherever God brings me over to where he wants me to go. And yeah, and she got a hold of me. She said, I told her about the nonprofit thing. She's going to help me out with that. So everything's just falling right on my lap, and I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm taking one day as I can get to it. I can't, like I said, and I can't thank you enough and everybody here in the chat, and my friend Anne Marie. I'm seeing her over here. That she came into the chat over here, and some other ones that have been following me along right along. It's been a marvelous experience, helping and inspiring many of you to get healthy out there. That's the bottom line. Oh, and I keep telling people too, Anita, that don't focus in so much on the scale.
Yeah,
Focus on your health, because that's the bottom line. You want to get
exactly.
healthy first, and then the scale will take care of itself. Because I've
Yeah.
had many bad weeks, bad days, and bad months even where I didn't lose anything, and like again, my weight bottomed out right now to where I'm supposed to be. But if I don't lose any more weight, as long as I'm healthy, I'm fine. And I'm good with it.
Well, I'm really glad that you mentioned that too, Ron, because that, a lot of people do focus on the weight, and there's so many other things as well, all these other health issues. Thank you for mentioning that as well.
Yeah, and again, I'm just so happy and excited to be here tonight.
Good.
I don't know. Oh yeah. So the other thing too, I got involved with um, a fantastic website called Filmora 12 for video editing. Okay, and it's not a monthly subscription; it's a one deal price, but it's subscription yearly. So it was like, it's
Yeah.
like $54 a year, and I could. So at the very beginning, when I was doing YouTubing, I
Yep.
who the heck wants to see what Ron eats in a day? And then I'm seeing what other people are posting. And then it's okay. So it took me a long time before I felt comfortable doing videos. And I said, what are you, a ding dong? I said, you're a videographer. You bring 10 cameras out when you're on location to do concerts, and you can't figure out how to film a recipe. So now when I'm filming recipes, I study how you're filming and how other people are filming. I'm doing everything by myself. My wife has
Yeah.
no interest in it.
Yeah.
So it's really hard when you're by yourself and you got a lot of background noise and whatever. So I'm using the combination now of both programs because I'm going to be needing both of these programs when they go to school for video editing. But what Filmora allows you to do, it allows you to make your videos a lot more entertaining.
Oh,
And so
good.
it's so
Good.
far so
Yeah.
good. YouTube
Yeah.
hasn't had a problem with their music because they got over thousands of non-copyrighted music that you could put in because we don't want to get any copyright or any
No, we don't. We
strikes
don't.
in our videos because once our
Yeah.
channel gets monetized, I don't know if YouTube has an issue with that, but I don't want any issues on my channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, and this actually brings me to another question that I had for you is what made you decide to do a YouTube channel? Was it because you were already doing video with your volunteer work, or were you just inspired to
Oh,
put your life on YouTube?
well, I wanted to. Okay, so when I first started doing my weight loss journey, first I weighed myself, and then I measured all my measurements and everything from my neck, my breast to my breast, my belly button to my belly button, my waist to my waist, the arms, the thighs. I did everything, and I have that today. And I started writing everything in Word doc because at some point maybe I might want to write a book. I have somebody write a book about me, and so. What was the question again? Sorry.
Well, just how you got
Oh yeah,
onto
yeah,
making
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
YouTube channel.
Okay. So, and then when I started thinking about how I wanted to lose weight, go do keto, and when I chose keto, and then I got a download that said, Ron, I want you to put yourself out there publicly, and I want you to try to get. I want you to people are going to be inspired by you, and so I created a channel basically to just document about my journey, how far I wanted to take it, and inspire as many people the many YouTubers or people that do YouTube channels or ones that want to get healthy and how was Ron losing the weight and so when the divine energy field, which we call God, spoke to me, and I said, I want you to put yourself here publicly to have your best chance to lose weight. And when I start seeing all these comments, so let me just go into something, and I want to read you guys something really really quick. I'll just find it and see if I can find it in my weekly video for this coming week. Uh, well, anyways, I got a nice comment the other day about I don't want to lose my link or whatever, so I'll have it in the Speaks update in week 159 update. I'm at week 159 by the way. So this girl Brenda, she wrote to me and she told me about how I was really a great inspirational motivator for her because she falls within our age group.
Yep.
And she's having problems with her hip and she's having problems walking, and I'm inspiring her to get out there and get walking. And that makes me feel good that my journey is not just wasting my time, but that makes me proud of being me and being who I am and inspiring many
Yeah.
people out there to get healthy.
Ron, I think that is wonderful because I don't know about you. From what I'm hearing, just doing this with other people, talking to other people, and sharing your journey is a sense of purpose. You know.
Yeah. And the very first time we got together with some YouTubers, I was with three girls, and I was just the only guy on that night, and boy, these girls going to give me a chance to even talk. But we had a four-way split screen, and we all had our chances to speak and stuff, and that was really cool. And then Mike and Tom's been interviewing me from time to time, and then I had another girl from Janny that's for another topic what she's involved with, but she wanted to interview me about my weight loss, and I love interviewing people. And that girl I was representing to there, that mom, when she came in, she said, Ron, I can't believe you, because I know you almost now for 10 years and how shy you was. And now you're in front of the camera, you're interviewing people, you're being interviewed. every time I see you down the street, you're always talking to somebody. In my city, I cannot walk down the street without somebody coming up to me saying hi to me and wanting to grab a photograph of me. It's so funny. And I bet you if I was and you're from Canada, right? I
Yes,
believe.
I am.
Okay, so my family is from New Brunswick, Canada, and I'm
Ah,
I'm a born American, and my mom was born American, but I have relatives that live up in the Brunswick area and Mountain area, and I and my mom was she had married a Canadian many years ago and remarried actually, and then she lived in a city called St. Charles, New Brunswick. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
yeah.
anyways, I stayed with them for a period of time, and at the end of the day, and I was in South Carolina for a little bit when my sister lives in South Carolina. I wasn't crazy about either place. The bottom line is this is where I want to live, and I love our city. I love Massachusetts. We get the four seasons, and I could not imagine living in Texas in some of those areas where the heat's terrible. You can't live without an air condition. But like right tonight is 80 degrees and it's not. But we're pushing into the fall months, and this is the best time of year. Yeah. So it's pretty much what I am, who I am, what I am about there. Getting back to the recipe part of it now it's I have so much apartment noise. It's crazy here. So now what I'm doing now, I told my wife, don't worry about the noise anymore. If I want to film something, I film it out. I take the noise off of it, and then I do a voiceover now, and then I
Okay.
might
Yep.
come back with an introduction and a follow up to
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
I make that. Because that's the only way I think. It took me 3 years to figure this out. Like, what are you, a dummy or something? But and then I'm watching how my friend Anne Marie does it with a live video there, and it goes, I'm watching her videos. And then this morning I'm filming my rib recipe, and I got my cat on my feet over there this morning, and I took a little video of him going meow. It was just funny being part of the show. But one time I tried to film on the kitchen table, and I cleared off all the table. I had all my food already prepped and ready to go, and I'm starting to film. Then the cat gets on the table and starts sniffing the food. I go, "Oh, this is unacceptable. I can't have that." So most of the time now I prep in the back and I finish it in the front because I don't want to cook anything in the like a stove plate or something like that in the back. That wouldn't be kosher if I set the apartment on fire.
No, you wouldn't want to set the apartment on
No,
fire.
no.
But
So yeah, go
it's
ahead.
it's the life of a YouTuber. I have dogs that, start barking
Yeah,
and
I know
you
you
know
got I know you got Teddy, and yeah,
yeah.
I've been watching many of your videos. In fact, your videos inspire me a lot to cook, and I keep telling
Oh.
people to try to do what works for you. Like I know they tell us in keto and carnivore to try to do like the organic meats and stuff like that, but get what you can afford because I
Oh
can't
yeah.
afford to get organic meat. To me, the organic always meant a higher price. If
Of
you can afford it,
course.
fine, get it. We just bought a freezer a couple of months ago, and because we only had a small little whatever the freezer space was above the refrigerator, and I love having the freezer now because every time I go shopping now, I'll pick up a couple extra pieces of meat, even if I don't need it. Because
Mhm.
if I need to do carnivore, I got to keep up with the carnivore meats. Because uh, I still want to do. Here's what my thinking is, Anita. I want to do carnivore for the month of September while I'm going to school. My school days are Monday through Thursday, and to do keto Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think that would
Yeah.
work. And I think that would work.
It's all
Yeah.
part of the proper human diet.
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
that
Exactly.
it's all good. And I know a lot of people start carnivore that way. They do, a day off, keto carnivore, or like you said, on the weekends they do keto, and that works really well for them.
Yeah, and then when they brought me around the school on the bottom floor, I walked right by the cafeteria area, and then I noticed they had on one of the tables they had it all set up with salads, and it was all free to the students. And I goes, oh wow, that was really cool. But when I'm doing carnivore, what I'll probably do is make a couple of hamburgers or something like that, or some
Hmm.
pieces of steak, and just put it in a little pouch and bring it. Because Tuesdays and Thursdays are my longest days. I got a 2 hour class at 10 o'clock in the morning to noontime, and then I got a 2 hour break and then another 2 hour class. But in that
Right.
2 hour window of opportunity, I can have my lunch or I can do my homework, because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not coming home for 2 hours and then going
No.
back. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to school as much as I'm scared about it. But I could be a big asset to the teachers and to the students there, because especially the students that might not have any film experience at all. So I don't want to make it all about me when I go to school, but I'm just going to sit low for a few weeks before I start mentioning that to the teachers. And
Yeah.
also all the city events that I filmed over the last 10 years. I have a lot of project files that I can give to teachers if she wants my project files. So that might help her out and the students. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, you have a bit of an edge there with your experience, your
Yeah,
practical experience in the
yeah,
field, so
yeah.
that'll be good for you. And
Yeah, what's great about volunteering for the studio over the last 10 years, you get to meet local celebrities. I was going to go. I don't know if you probably won't know who this guy was, but his name is John Davidson. He was a local comedian, and he hosted the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and he did Hollywood Squares, and he had his own show for a while, and we were going to interview him at the his house up in New Hampshire. So when the other access station got a hold of me, he said, "Ron, you want to go with Barbara and go down to his house up in New Hampshire and film?" And I do an interview with him, and I said, "Yeah, sure." So when the day I went to go get all my cameras and I had them all loaded up in the car, he calls up the studio and says, "Would it be easier for me if I just drove into the studio and did the interview there?" Because he was on his way from Philadelphia. He did a gig up in Philadelphia, so we interviewed him at the studio. But I got to meet him, so it was really
nice.
cool to meet some Hollywood celebrities.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't normally have gotten a chance to meet. That's the fun thing about video and volunteering for your city, because you meet a lot of people, and it's another way of getting your name out there. In fact,
Yep.
it was funny when I did the 4th of July parade. I was over there and I'm filming, right? Somebody came up to me. She goes, "Hey, Ron's Keto Cafe," and she came up and gave me a hug. So I goes, "Oh my gosh!" I goes, it was just funny, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That must make you feel really good.
Yeah. The people are recognizing me,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm just having the time of my life, and I'm
Yeah.
like again, I'm taking one day as God gives it to me, and and at the end of the day, it's just take
That is yeah.
take what is presented to you is what I want to say.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is wonderful. I'm just gonna hit the pause button for a
Okay,
moment because
but
I want to make sure
you know, my sip
that
of water.
people are putting element into the comments so that you can be entered to win a box of element for those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the hour. That's all you have to do is put in element. There's going to be a draw at the end. And if you have any questions for Ron, we have about 20 some odd minutes left. And so if there are any questions for Ron, I am just going to check in the moderators chat. By the way, the moderators tonight are Bonnie and Melissa. Thank you guys for the good job you're doing. Uh, let's see here. I just want to see if anyone has a specific question for Ron yet. We are definitely here to answer any
Yeah,
questions.
I can see the comments on my side as well.
Okay. Da-da, da-da. So it seems like a lot of people here know who you are. They mentioned that they follow you.
So I
So
found that thing I just wanted to read what it said. It said, "Hi Ron, week 158. You were going back to school. I'm so impressive. I'm 60 years old and I'm 60 pounds overweight, and my blood pressure is through the roof. I also need hip surgery. I'm just tired of feeling like hell. I tried keto in 2020. I had great success, but unfortunately, I felt I let it slip away. I enjoy your videos. I think you would like to go back to school and watch some of your other older videos, and you were such an inspiration." And she's thanking me. In other words, she's going all the way
wonderful.
back to week one video, and she's doing some binge watching and catching up on some of my older videos. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
so so when I see
yeah.
stuff like that, that really inspires me to keep me going, and keep you guys going.
I just on the screen here, I've put up the link to Ron's channel and his about page there so that you can read about his journey. So we'll leave that there for a moment while I'm looking for other. Okay. Well, I think if the moderators have any questions that are specifically for you, they will throw them on my chat here. So someone is asking about UTIs. So if anyone has any experience with that, maybe reply to Mickey about that, and let them know what your experience is. And let's see what else here. Oh, we have people saying they have just subbed to your channel. Thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much.
much, Jody. That is wonderful. And so here's a question for you, Ron, from Kathy.
I just got on. How long did it take you to lose 140 pounds? Well, 159 weeks. No, actually, not true. So my first year on keto, when I hit my anniversary for 1 year, I was exactly 100 pounds down. And then backslash about 6 months earlier, I was playing around with different programs again, like Weight Watchers, and then some of that was successful with me. But in the bottom line, when I chose keto, then it took me about a year and a half. Yeah, about a year and a half.
Wow.
And I wanted to mention something that's kind of funny. So when everything was shut down, Donna and I like to go play bingo, right? So I volunteer on a Friday night. When we first opened up the bingo, Donna's with me, and everybody kept coming up to my wife and kept saying, "Did you get a divorce?" And he goes, "Well, where's your husband? He's right over. He's right over there." They didn't recognize me because I had lost all that weight, and that was kind of funny, and that kind of makes me feel good. When people recognize you about the weight, they say, "Holy Crowley, I didn't realize you lost that much weight." And I go, "Yeah, I've been feeling fantastic, other than my hips. Once I get my hip replaced, I'll be fine." Because the other one responded really well, and what really helped my other hip when I had it out was I did an awful lot of walking, and and again, if somebody has some issue like that and they got to have hip surgery, don't be afraid of it, because I was. And the bottom line is just listen to what the physical therapy tells you, what the
Yeah.
doctor tells you, and you'll be fine. Hip surgery is a piece of cake. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And and the other thing about I wanted to mention too, Anita, when I first started losing weight, I worked with the elderly at the place where I volunteer at the commission office, and I told the guy, I said I lost like 40 pounds. And he goes, "What are you going to do? Go out and buy a pizza and celebrate?" I goes, "No, the old Ron would have went out and bought a
Yes.
whole pizza, and gone out and celebrate with that. But the newer Ron, I ended up going out walking that day because I wanted to go walking, and that's how I've been successful walking. And I still walk this day. It's not as much as I used to with my hip, but and I'm trying to get out the best I can.
Yeah, that's good. So there's another question here for you, Ron. Your favorite keto or carnivore meal or recipe?
Oh, that's easy. Pizza.
Do you
uh,
have a good carnivore or sorry, a keto pizza recipe that you like?
yeah, I like Max's Boot Camp. They make a they I got a hold of a flatbread pizza that they had made, and then Annie from Keto Focus, she had a nice one that she had done with mozzarella cheese and some almond flour, and when you put it all together, the dough texture actually felt like dough texture when you're pulling it out with all that gooey
Nice.
cheese. And every now and then I'll make some a chicken crust pizza and that sort of thing. And one of my channels that I got from CJ's Kitchen near Sarah and her husband, she had made a pizza in a mug, and she laid it out like a lasagna, and she popped it in the microwave for 90 seconds. And I tried that recipe, and it was great. And that's great for on the go snack. You could just put it in one of those throwaway cups or whatever, and put a lid on it, and bring it what you want to go when you're hungry for a snack. And then I made some. One of my favorite ones I had just made was I made some bacon knots. I got some idea from Carnivore Doctor. She took some
Mm-hmm.
bacon and she wrapped up the bacon in knots, and I put it on the bacon rack, and I popped that
Yeah.
baby in the oven, and I added some garlic powder, onion powder, just a little bit, not as much as I did with these ribs for today, and then I put some Parmesan cheese on the top of it. And I could have just eaten them the whole thing in one sitting. That's how good they were. But we had some sad news this week. This past month, actually, my cousin passed away. He was 2 years younger than me, and then 2 days later, I lost my aunt. She was my godmother. She was the last of a generation, and so we buried her yesterday because we wanted to give the family a chance to come down there for the funeral, and it's been really tough. But the thing of it is, we went to a out not outing, but we went to the function, and afterwards they had like a buffet type deal set up, but I said, no, I'm not going to play those games because they had a lot of carby foods and set up all everything, but they had healthier choices like salads and stuff like that. And that's what I ended up getting. And then I saw some stuff wrapped around bacon. I go, I wonder what that was. And then I realized there was scallops wrapped around with bacon scallops. And I have one of those on my channel. And they were really good. So I ended up getting about 3 or 4 of those, and I just had a little bit of light salad that day, and that's fine. But these are some of the quirks in life that you guys are going to be experiencing with life events that you're going to have to go to, and weddings.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make the right choices and what works for you. And I wouldn't be afraid of bringing something there if you're doing carnivore and you're afraid that you're going to eat some stuff that you don't want to eat from there. Just bring your own little plate and bring it with you in a bowl, and have somebody in the back room heat it up for you if they got a microwave or something like that. Because this one of my cousins, his wife, that's what she does. She doesn't eat that stuff. She brings her own food. And we were at a restaurant after the funeral yesterday, and they heated it up for her, and that way she was fine with that. So that's what I would suggest if you have to go to a function where they have a lot of food that you're not supposed to eat.
Yeah. 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 It's a one of those things where sometimes you have to just pick just do the best you can. You can't always be 100% perfect.
Yeah.
So there's another question here for you.
What's that?
Any tips for success when you are still having to cook for your family that's not eating keto?
Yes, you can cook. What I would do was just fool them. Don't tell them it's keto, and make it keto.
like
make it keto. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I made a lasagna the other day, and I think Anita's might have made this lasagna a few times. I think I got it from Maria Emmerich. I think that's how you pronounce her name.
Maria Emmerich. Okay.
Yeah, she's another great YouTuber that does carnivore. And I made a carnivore lasagna the other day, and it came out fantastic. Make something like that, but don't tell them it's carnivore. And I did a nice keto recipe the other day. I instead of using the noodles, I used deli meat, and I used chicken breast, and
Nice.
and I was satisfied. And my wife ate it; she loved that. So if you can find something that your spouse loves and you love, you don't have to feel like you're cooking 2 different meals, But yeah, and what's been a godsend too is the air fryer, and of course now I just upgraded my crock pot after having the other one for like 40 years, and you really needed another one really bad, so I finally picked up another crock pot, and it worked out really great this morning. Yeah. So anything else, Mia?
Yeah, there's one here. I couldn't find it.
I saw it over here, Ron. Besides coffee, what other beverages do you have throughout? Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you.
Glad you asked that. Sharon, this right here, this is great water. It's called Propel, and it's got a lot of great electrolytes and flavors in it. And I also have some packages that you can put in regular plain water. I do drink tea, and every now and then I'll pop in a Coke Zero, and that's it. That's all I have. And I usually have about 4 or 5 of these a day.
Okay, that's good. Let me just see if there's any other questions. I saw a question about oxalates earlier. So I wanted, I don't know if you've had any issues with that.
No, I don't even. What is oxalate? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, so oxalates are calcium buildups in your system, but I'm just directing. I put a comment on here for that person, whoever, I can't remember who it was that asked that question. It was early on. This is the best book to get on that subject. So, thanks, Bonnie, for posting that. She saw the question as well. Yeah,
I wasn't sure what oxalate was. That was a new one on me.
It affects carnivores more than it affects ketovore people. So, I've myself have had some issues with oxalates that they now seem to have cleared up.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention too about weight loss in particular, it doesn't have to be keto or carnivore. And when I was watching some older Dr. Oz videos when he had Tim Tebow on, and I was very impressed with what Tebow had to say. He was, I think some people who don't know who he was a football player.
Hmm.
And if you want something, have something. Don't beat yourself up. Just start right over the next day. And
Yeah.
that's how I've been very, very successful. If I want something, I'll have it. If it's not weight loss or whatever, I'll have it. And but don't beat yourself up because you're having a bad day. Just start over again. It's that simple, guys. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
Beating yourself up is something that I just learned to stop doing because y- my motto is there have been times when I've given in. Sometimes I give in, but I never give up.
That's
and
correct.
and I think if you just pick yourself up and go again at it, what is the alternative anyways? Go back to, should I give up and go back to 320 pounds? I don't think so. I'm just gonna, no matter how I screw up, I'm gonna just keep going, and I think
Well,
that's the best.
the photograph that I sent you when I was filming at the local concert that year, um, Carl, then at the director of the studio, used to reference that shirt as a Charlie
Hmm.
Brown shirt. And when I looked at that photograph, I looked like I had a pear-shaped belly body, and I kept that shirt as a reminder that this guy never wants to go back to being that big again. Because
Yeah.
we were in terrible shape. I swear, to thank you and thank everybody for supporting me again. Because without you and your marvelous support group and your Facebook support and your website and all the work that you do and the many wonderful videos that you put out and that everybody puts out. If it wasn't for that, I would not be here today talking to you guys about
Mhm.
it. Really, I mean that. That's how
Well,
bad of a shape I was in.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. And I think that's why it's so important to have all the voices out there. There's a lot of YouTubers out there who are putting out good content. There's new ones coming on every day. And I just the more we talk about it, the more we share, the more we're vulnerable. It's a good thing for all of the new ones that are coming on who have never heard of keto, never heard of carnivore, and now they're wondering. Well, here we are out there to just tell them how we did it, and even though we're not doctors or professionals or anything, but yeah,
And a lot of
it's
things I want. Another thing I wanted to mention too. Where I get a lot of my inspiration from my food, I go to like Drives Diets, Guy Fieri, his channel that
yeah, oh, yeah,
yeah, okay,
I know,
like Rachel Ray,
yeah,
the Pioneer Woman.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, they're not keto or any of that, but
no.
we take a lot of their food recipes and we convert it over to keto. It's really simple, guys. But and make what is right for you. It's so easy to convert a meal over to something that you can have that will fall within your macro, so you don't go over your weight loss.
And if you can't figure out how to convert a recipe, you can go to Ron's channel and look through his index and see what he's got. It might suit what you're trying to do. You
Uh,
can do it on my channel
This is what
sometimes.
I bought. I bought this on Amazon. What's really great about this, it's called the NutraTrack Mini for $40, and it's got codes over here, all pre-designed codes. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you're putting a say lemon on top of the scale, it gives you well, just put it on right here. It gives you okay, it gives you you first punch in your code. If you want to do it in grams, millimeters, pounds, or ounces, it gives you that, and then it gives you
Nice.
your salt intake, your protein, your fat. It gives you your fiber. It gives you your cholesterol, your carbs, and your calories. And you can store it for the day, or you can store it for the week. And so as you're going along over the course of the day, it calculates all that stuff for you. So it takes the artwork out of guessing for you. This is really great, and
Wonderful.
this would be a good investment. And I got the link in my show more, but
Okay. All right.
that's a good, and I believe it is available for purchase for the Canada for the people for the Canadian people as well. But
Okay.
and it came with 3 batteries. So it's made in the USA, and it's not that Chinese crap that we get. And then it's very solid. It's the state of the art. It almost reminds me of an iPad, and I got one
Yeah,
of those.
look, I thought it was an iPad when you
Yes,
first pulled it up. I just wanted
yes,
to put Kathy's comment on here. She's lost 42 pounds,
good for
but
you.
her inflammation is gone, no longer
Okay.
diabetic, no desire to cheat, and that is what it's
Yeah,
all about.
yeah.
And oh, here Bonnie has put on a link for that nutrition scale
Oh,
there.
thank you, Bonnie.
That is very cool. So check that out. And let's see, what else have we got here? We're running into the last 5 minutes soon. So if anyone has any last minute questions, now is your chance. Thank you, Pam, for liking my quote. I think maybe she was talking about that. Sometimes I give in,
Hmm.
but I never give up. Okay. So also don't forget, put LMNT into the comments. We're going to do that draw in a moment. Yes, thank you. Last minute to type in LMNT. So, but before we get to the draw, Ron, I want to thank you for coming on my channel today and sharing your story with my viewers and those of your viewers that came. I know that they already know you, but
Hmm.
perhaps many of my viewers didn't. And
Right.
to me, it's really important to share stories from people who are in our
Hmm.
age group because,
Right.
when you look on YouTube or on, just even out on the internet in general, you've got all these young people who are, in their gym wear and in their bikinis looking so fit. And that's all great, but some of us are probably never going to be doing that, and we just want to live our best lives and be healthy. And
Right.
Ron, you're one of those people
Thank you so
that
much.
with your recipes and you're motivating probably lots of people that are in our age group, and
Well,
so for
what
that
breaks
I appreciate you.
what breaks my heart, Anita, is when I would not say go up to somebody and say something. Hey, do you want my help?
Hmm.
But when I see somebody that's like 300-400 pounds is struggling just to walk from 5 to 10 feet, where that's where I was, and it breaks my heart because there is help if they want help, but
There is.
you have to be in a really bad place to actually want it. And I wanted this really bad. Like I want school really bad, and I know this. I know that happened. I've gotten everything I wanted out of life, and more,
Yeah.
and then some. And I don't have any regrets. The only regret that I have in life that if the older one could give a younger wrong advice around the time that I started gaining weight and the kids used to pick on me, dude, just I didn't have a father, so I would have just told them just
Yeah.
punch him, and then maybe I wouldn't have had the weight problem. But things happen for a reason, so and that's what it is, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm here today.
Yeah.
That just inspire people.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and I think everybody here appreciates that as well. So
Thank you,
we're
Patty.
yeah,
I'm
so
just watching the
uh,
comments.
yeah, while you're doing that, I'm going to
Okay.
run the draw because we're getting to the end here. So we have 69, 70 people who have entered the draw,
Huh?
and let's see, we need to share the screen. So if you can, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to share the screen and then run this exciting draw. Just hang on. Okay. Let's see who it is. There's actually two people. We're going to get two people. Okay, our first winner is Claudia Matthews. And I'm going to draw again for the next person. Jennifer, fine. I know you, Jennifer. I met you at KetoCon. Congratulations. So congratulations to those two winners. So what I'll need you to do is to email me at my. I'm gonna just pop my email address up here, and let me know where to send you your box of LMNT. Okay. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. Okay, so that's my email address for those two winners. Let me know where you want me to mail it to. And Ron, hang on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys still see me? Because it said my screen was blocked. Hopefully. All right.
Nice.
Well, the joys of live. So, Ron, thank you again for
Yeah.
coming this week, and I hope you had a good time too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
it's a
I
little
had
hectic being live.
well, I was sometimes I get very nervous and when I first started doing the lives, but
Yep.
now it's second nature to me. I just enjoy it so much, and I enjoy helping you out. And if there's anything I could do to help you out on your channels, you let me know. And again, if you
Thank
fall
you.
behind on your video editing, just send me it in the Dropbox, and I'll be happy to edit your video, because I know you probably have a certain way that you like to have your videos edited. And
Yes.
if anybody's struggling with that, just let me know, and I can help you out with that. I don't mind helping people out, and at the end of the day, I get it back tenfold, so I'm not worried about it anymore. I'm just here to help as many people as I can help, and inspire as many people out there as I can inspire to get healthy. The bottom line is, guys, you have to get healthy first. And again, don't worry
Yes.
about your weight. Your weight will follow suit. It'll be like a
Absolutely.
domino effect. You get healthy, your weight will come off.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you so much again, Ron. And
Okay,
thank
thank
you,
you.
everyone, for coming and listening to Ron's story and for supporting my live stream. I can't thank you guys enough. This is a fun thing that we do on Sunday evenings, and it's a regular thing. So next week, Indigo Neely is going to be here. We are going to break
Oh.
bread with the bread queen herself.
She's a great YouTuber.
I love her.
Yeah, are you kidding me? She must have made
Yeah,
thousands and thousands of loaves of bread there just to keep it. She keeps experiment with them and
she
experiment with them.
does. She does. I
Yeah. So when
know.
you said the breaking bread, it kind of cracked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
hope that you'll come to see her next week, Ron, and the rest of you
absolutely.
as well. So,
Yeah.
anyways, bye for now.
Bye.
See
All
you
right. Thank you,
guys next
Anita.
week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Ron.
Bye now.
All
Have a
right.
great weekend and safe
You
weekend.
too. Have the rest of your long weekend be wonderful.